I've been single for a little over a year now, and I genuinely enjoy it. But at the same time, I feel lonely. And I don't think it's because I miss her. I want to thank everyone for coming back to another video. I don't do these too often, but when I do, these actually do help me a lot. And if it does help anyone else out there, I'm glad it does. If you're just here to listen, though, feel free to listen. But I guess I should start with why it ended, which is that my last relationship ended pretty badly. And I was the one who broke it off. Not because she was a bad person. I think to this day she is a good person. I've seen the things she's done. I know she's accomplished so much. I'm not gonna drag her name through the mud. I just realized I didn't truly love her anymore. And I don't think there's anything wrong about that. I don't wanna be in a relationship telling someone I love them when I don't. So I ended it. Alright. And since then I've felt this weird loneliness. She recently got into another relationship, and I'm not jealous at all. All right, I don't want her back. I have zero plans of ever going back, but I do miss having someone. Not her specifically, just that person who uplifts you, hypes you up, makes you feel wanted. I miss that presence, and I guess what I've realized as of recent is that I just miss attention. I miss being someone's number one person on list. I miss waking up to that good morning text. I miss wanting to message someone good night. You know? It's it's a weird feeling. I don't want to go back to that person ever. You know? It was I didn't have a great time in that relationship. I was miserable toward the end. There were a lot of issues in that relationship. A lot of issues on my end as well. I could have been a better person during that relationship. But I know that I'm never going back. I'm satisfied with my decision. I've talked to girls since then. I've went on a few dates, had a few talking stages, but the weird part is that no one can really hold my attention, and that's really new for me. I used to be able to talk to somebody all day. Now, I don't even have the motivation to text them back consistently. I'm currently talking to a blonde girl right now, and I know it's not gonna last. I know for sure. Already starting to lag on text. While I record this, I've had her on delivered for 3 hours. I can text her whenever I want. I just haven't, and I don't know. The talking stage started off amazing. We met, and we were really liking each other. We flirted here and there, and for some reason, I just lost interest. It's not like I find her ugly or that she's a bad person. From what I've heard, she sounds like an amazing person. But I don't know. It's just it's like I just can't s- stick with one person right now, and it's weird. It's new for me. All right, I used. I'm repeating myself. I don't want to repeat myself. I know it sounds bad. What I'm saying. These are truly how I feel right now, and I don't know what to do. And if I'm being honest, I've been through a lot of talking stages, a lot of relationships. I'm not trying to flex here. I should regret how casually I used to treat dating, and I think now I'm just fatigued. Honestly. Um, ex- I've experienced the honeymoon phases, the late night calls, the what are we talks. Been through the arguments. I've been through the gift giving. First time ever meeting up if this was a person I met online. Yeah, I've the first kiss, the First time ever intermingling. I can't say what that means. I'm sure you guys do know. I've done it all. All right. So now when I start talking to someone new, it just feels repetitive. I've done this before. It's just going through the motions. Honestly, I don't know. But here's the contradiction, I guess. I genuinely enjoy being single. I have so much time now. I go out with my friends more, you know. I've made new friendships I probably wouldn't have made before. I believe like when I was dating my ex, I had 3 friends that were girls. No, 4 actually. Friends that were girls that I truly considered friends. That number spiked up to 7. All right. I don't think I would have met those 3 other girls while I was in that relationship. But the fact that I am out of it has led me to make these new friends. And not just girls I made friends with. I made friends with guys as well, you know. But even those guys, would I have really met them if I was, you know, my time was still being like primarily consumed by my ex, who we used to call like every day, multiple hours. We used to fall asleep on the phone, you know. And it's not like we just weren't seeing each other a lot. She was only maybe a 20-minute drive away. We were able to meet up a decent amount of time. She was just really clingy, you know, and it's just, I guess that's what an issue I took with me. I don't know how does it go again. That was an issue I guess I had with her. You know, I didn't have time to my friends. I expressed it, and at first she was understanding, you know, but later on, and especially near the end, it was just a lot of complaining from her about how I don't spend time with her. You know, I want to spend time with her, but I also want to spend time with my friends. You know, I want to spend time with family. You know, I want to have that me time as well. You know, thanks to being single, I've been ranking up in Marvel Rivals. Wouldn't be able to do that while in a relationship. But yeah, I being single is nice. I have space to work on myself. You know, working out. I had stopped working out for a while, probably after my meniscus tear. I stopped working out really. I'm back working out though. I'm going more on walks. I've been going on hikes a lot. The freedom feels good. The independence feels good. But I still yearn for attention sometimes, and that's the confusing part, you know. Maybe I do miss my ex. I don't know. Maybe I miss just the attention, you know. It's a it's a hard feeling to really grasp. I find myself missing other exes rather than my most recent one, but you know, I don't know. It doesn't feel good having these feelings, you know. I'm sure my feelings sound silly to a bunch of people, you know. People who have never been in a relationship, who can't even manage to get a girl's attention. My feelings just sound silly to them, you know. But we all go through our own, I guess, experiences, and this is an experience I'm dealing with right now. But I guess where I'm at now is just that I don't miss my ex, or I do. I don't know. It's a weird feeling. I miss the feeling of being chosen, though. I miss being someone's favorite person. But I think I'm at the point where I don't want to settle anymore. I'm that's saying it. I'm tired of just hopping from relationship to relationship. You know, this is probably the longest I've been single for. I used to be single for maybe a few months in between each relationship. Weeks were probably the shortest as well that I was, you know, single for, and that I'd find a new relationship. Like I was true. I'll say it. All right. I don't get paid for this stuff. You know, I was a man whore. You know, so I'm tired of just doing that, I'm tired of just jumping from a relationship just because of the fact that I can't handle being out of one. I think I'm handling it better than I was in the beginning, because when I first got out of my relationship, I tried to hop into another one right away. I met some girl, things are going great. I was blocked out of nowhere, but I think that was probably for the best for me because it's allowing me to sit with these emotions, and better understand who I am as a person. Of course, I didn't learn that when I first got blocked. I just immediately tried to go find another girl. That's why I've been on a few dates. I've talked to girls. That's why I'm talking to a current girl right now. Do sound like a hypocrite. Hearing myself right now, I do sound like a hypocrite, but this is what this channel's for, just to get my emotions out, just to talk and ramble. This doesn't need to make sense to me, what I'm trying to say. It just needs, I just need to take it out, just need to say it and put it out there. But what I tell myself is that when I get to college, I'm a senior right now. When I get to college, I'll meet someone who genuinely moves me. I feel like I will. Not just someone I'm bored enough to date, I don't want to force anything anymore. If I fall in love again, I want it to be real, not convenient. So maybe I'm not lonely. Maybe I'm just like in between chapters, where just got my last relationship, and this is the training arc, into the next one maybe. When that one will happen, no idea. It could be a week from now, months from now, years from now. It could never happen again. But I think this is good for me to stay single, you know. I'm gonna go respond to that girl now because I've had her on delivered for a while. And I used to be in that position, when I was desperate for love. I was left undelivered, so yeah. I'll figure that out though, on how to break the news that I'm probably not gonna pursue anything with her. Usually I just give dry responses until they get tired of me. But I don't know if I'll do that again. We'll see. Um, but I want to thank you all for listening to my little ramble. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, tell me your experiences. I mean, I doubt anyone's really gonna watch this. My views aren't super high, but I don't do this for the views. I just do this to get my emotions out. So yeah, thank you all for listening to me.